Hello, I'm Prof Antoniades, Deputy Editor of Cardiovascular Research, and my guest today in this podcast for Cardiovascular Research Onlife is Professor Gianluigi Condorelli from Humanitas University in Milan. So what's your greatest contribution to science, and what's the story behind it?
Well, I guess that probably the one in which I can say that I have contributed significantly is on microRNAs. And I was studying signal transduction pathways, in particular a pathway related to the IGF-1 receptor. And I had the chance to collaborate with Carlo Croce, who at that time was discovering the microRNAs in human leukemias and lymphomas. And we had, again, the chance to check for microRNAs that were expressed in myocardial tissue using his bioinformatic platform. And through this, we came up with a number of very interesting microRNAs that were then showed to play a significant role in cardiovascular diseases. And we, as well as others, because you're never alone, so there are other groups doing similar stuff. So I think that was quite significant. I was also lucky to be in the right place at the right time. And now we are working on epigenetics, which basically is a continuation of the studies of microRNAs, and there's a number of very exciting new data that are coming out, and it is very, very interesting.
So how do you see heart failure research evolving in the future?
Future, I think it's as interesting as ever. It is a time where there is a lot of new approaches, molecular approaches, to understand the pathophysiology of heart failure in a much more detailed way as compared to 10, 20 years ago. And of course, we need to learn how to use this huge amount of data that can come out of this sequencing and omics. But I think it's a very exciting time because there are new insights into the disease that come from the combination of these omics approaches that I'm very sure that it will change the way we look at the disease, and most probably we'll find new therapeutic targets out of this.
You are actively involved in the European Society of Cardiology. Can you tell us more about your initiatives within the European Society of Cardiology?
Well, I would say that the most relevant one is what is my position in the European Society of Cardiology, which is the representative of the American Heart Association within the European Society of Cardiology for the basic science. And this year, with the help of Barbara Casadei, in the main Congress in Paris, we have a session that is dedicated to this collaboration between the BCBS of the American Heart Association, which relates to basic science, and the European Society of Cardiology. And I hope that this will continue so that these two very large societies will continue to collaborate in terms of exchange of topics and investigators as speakers in the reciprocally in the two main congresses.
So, what is the secret of success in science?
Well, first of all, it depends on you. So how much you want to be, I don't want to say successful, but you want to, let's say, focus on science, and how much you are interested in science. And so, first of all, it's you. Secondly, the environment also has a significant importance. So you need to be in an environment which is stimulating, so you can interact well with other people in terms especially of science. And you have many approaches, so that you can choose which one to use for answering to your question. Thirdly, it's very important to have the right question to answer. And I think that eventually you need to be in a let's say, in an environment that helps investigators to grow. And this is very important because we all know that in Europe there are differential positions in terms of chances to do research. So I think that it is important to stay in places where you could do experiments and you have the possibility to discuss with colleagues in a successful and critical way.
Professor Condorelli, thank you for joining us today in this Cardiovascular Research on Life podcast.
Thank you for having me here. Thank you.